My interest, I think, came about when I was a teenager, actually, when I realized that life really wasn't what I thought it was, and things didn't really occur in the way that I wanted them to occur, and I couldn't understand why people behaved the way they did, because none of it made sense to me. So I think from the time I was young, I was on a journey of trying to understand what life was about, and how can I make my dreams happen. And one of the things that happened to me in my childhood was that my mother was a great cook, but she loved to bake and make sugary things, and so I ate a lot of sugar, and I was really, really depressed. So I think that when I discovered nutrition later in my life and what that was all about, which nobody knew what it was about when I first got into nutrition, I started a catering business and made gourmet food, and still didn't feel well because I was eating a lot of it and sugary things. But when I wanted to get pregnant, I met someone who talked to me about eliminating certain foods and went on a program of eating healthy and had the best pregnancy imaginable. I had more energy than I've ever had in my life. And so after that point, I wanted to study nutrition and went to school to get a PhD in nutrition. And that was sort of the beginning of my journey, because from that point on, I started learning all kinds of techniques and processes that were really just available to chiropractors and naturopaths and acupuncturists. And so I combined nutrition with all kinds of other modalities to help people, which led me to neuroemotional technique, which is the most amazing process, I think, that exists for releasing emotional patterning in the brain.
So we started in nutrition, and then through nutrition, you found that studying NET was as effective or more effective than changing our nutritional habits?
No, it's one of the components. One of the things we look at when we're looking at any individual are the stressors that a person has in their life. And we call it the home run formula, where everybody consists of 4 bases, basically, where there's a structural or energetic side to every person, there's a nutritional side, and then there's a biochemical / toxic side, as well as an emotional side. So in dealing with a whole person, in order to help them with whatever their challenges are, you have to deal with all of the bases. You can't just be selective and deal with one. So most people have more than one problem area, so to speak. And neuroemotional technique, which deals with the emotional base, is something I help people with on an ongoing basis, because the repetitive process of doing this kind of emotional releasing work helps people break down emotional programming and eradicate beliefs that are holding them back, whether it's in their health or in creating other things that they want in their life.
And how many people have you seen over the years with utilizing your home run formula and NET?
Thousands. I wouldn't know how to count that many. Because I've been doing neuroemotional techniques since its onset, which was about 30 years ago. And fortunately, I got in on the ground floor with Dr. Scott Walker, who was the amazing research scientist who developed neuroemotional technique. So I've been studying it ever since, and every client that I've ever seen, I've always done neuroemotional technique on them. In fact, I won't work with a patient unless they're willing to deal with the emotional component, because if they don't deal with the emotional component, then chances are they're just going to remanifest whatever their challenge is, even if it's a physical challenge.